And I just want to say thank you for what was done and look forward for the enforcement of ADHOC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. North Kohala, are there any other testifiers there?
Yes, Chair, we have one more testifier.
Would you bring that person forward, please?
The testifier's name is Jessica Andrews, representing herself, speaking in support of Communication 394.
Thank you, Council, for passing this bill and morning. We need to follow through past the ADHOC, and then we'll have a nice bill that that will be effective throughout the island. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for coming in to testify today. All right, thank you. We're going to come back to Gila. We have some more testifiers. The next testifier is Lori, and I honestly cannot Twill?
Farrell. Farrell.
Okay. Lori Farrell, please go ahead and present your testimony.
Mahalo, council members. I'm here today not to either oppose or support the ad hoc committee. I'm just here to comment. I would hope that when if you convene any sort of ad hoc committee, you would bring our local and our Hawaii scientists. We have many great minds that are here without bringing in other outside sources that are credible. So I'm just here to say that today, and I trust you to do whatever you're going to do. We've been through this process for the last 8 months. There's not much more that needs to be said, other than I think a respectful dialogue between the minds would be very helpful at this point to answer all the questions that are still left unanswered. Mahalo.
Thank you. The next testifier is Derek Brewer. Mr. Brewer, you've got 3 minutes.
Aloha, Council. My name is Derek Brewer. I'm with GMO-Free Hawaii Island in Eco Hostel, Hawaii. As far as the ad hoc was concerned, I saw several suggestions for what should be included in the ad hoc committee. I agree with pretty much everything on there. One thing is concerning is what does safety of the papaya or any other genetically modified organism mean? As far as safety studies are concerned, what a lot of us have brought up is that there really hasn't been any long-term studies, and what would really make, I believe, the people of Hawaii and as well as the rest of the world satisfied that the food products are safe are multi-generation long-term studies. So things beyond 3 months, which seems to be the standard of what anyone is able to find, seems to be a general 3-month study. So things that would include reasonable dosages for feed levels and consumption levels, which would include anything above and beyond 16% of the amount of GMO product being consumed. It would include second and third generation studies on animals or human studies, whichever would be available for both endocrine, reproductive, and general health studies as far as the animals are concerned. The major one seems to be that we've seen with soy and other products is that it's second generation and third generation that are hit the hardest by the health effects. So what are the effects of consumption over not just for you or a single generation, but their children and their grandchildren, and what are the effects on them? Should also see is what is the future viability of ag. So obviously, we have to reduce our imports of foreign materials for either fertilizers and feed sources. So an encouragement and attempt to explore options for what those are, which would include things like fodder feed, which could be used for the cattle ranchers to produce a large amount of food in a very short period of time. That is a definitely viable option that should be explored. It can be grown in a single week to production levels. It can include many farmers, including many of the smaller farmers that could be helping to support the larger farmers while still providing a lower cost feed and not genetically modified. And then the GMO seed bank is, our GMO-free seed bank is obviously a great idea. I believe the time is now to capitalize on this bill, to make a big deal out of the fact that we do provide genetically free materials and have an uncontaminated source for seeds. GMO soy and corn are one of the most common genetically modified crops, and almost 90 to 95% of that crop is genetically modified. So sources for seeds on the mainland of those particular crops are very difficult to find that are uncontaminated. So we have a very unique position here to be the Noah's Ark of the world seed supply, that people around the world will come to us and ask for us for an uncontaminated and a pure version of the seed for numerous varieties, including, the major crops, but also a lot of more unique and more heirloom varieties that exist in the world that also need to be protected and, provided to people throughout the world. And I also would like to suggest that as a nomination as a potential candidate for the committee to assist with the ad hoc committee, if you all would take that in consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brewer. Seeing and hearing of no other testifiers out in the public, we're going to move on to the communications. So public testimony is now over. Communication 390.